There we go. All right, we're live. Nice. All right. All right. Let's move some of this shit off here. Live charting in TA. Go live. Nice. All right. I think everything should be pulling in now. Here we go. What up, Pedro? To 8085. I mean, it's possible. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely possible. I'm still evaluating. Because these are the zones I'm paying attention to. 75, 78, even 83. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Colin taking the #1 spot for the viewer badge. Thank you for liking the live. The 8085. I mean, hey, we pumped to 78. It's still in the range. It just, the structure looks so similar to this back here. I mean, look how similar this looks to this. What's up, John? How are you? Like, look how similar these, I mean, they're different, but it looks so similar. It's truly incredible how price action and history repeat itself. What's up, Ahmed? How are you doing? Zilla, still thinking Bitcoin going back to 50, 60. Yep. No changes to the plan. What's up, Joe? How are you? What's going on? How's everyone's Monday? Ben? Yeah, I mean, again, we're getting a little bit of a pump. Sure. You know, we're close to what, 75 now? But again, there's no change. Like, I don't have much. Like, I'm not changing my thesis until we get an invalidation level. Matthew, happy to be here. Welcome, Matt. How are you? How's your day going? Until we get the invalidation level at 87,000, like, there's really not much left. Here, let me flip the screen so you can see what I'm looking at. So, like, look how similar this, and again, like, price never repeats itself. It's never the same, right? But look how similar this is to this. It's not a spitting image of it, obviously, because price never does the same thing twice. But look how similar this price action is. I mean, we had, you know, this sort of choppy ABC bounce to the downside. We had this pop-up, retrace, and we're popping up. Then we had this pop-up, retrace, and we're popping up. Now, I'm not saying that everything, you know, for these is similar, but they're very similar, right? I mean, this is a wave 4, and then this is also wave 4. They're both just corrective from what it looks like. Lumi, hello. What's going on, Lumi? How are you? Where do you see the top for this upside move? I mean, the zones that I'm paying attention to right now are basically the 0.5 fib. You know, we might, oh wait, let me move this into screen. Give me a second so you guys can see it. So the zones that I'm paying attention to are the 0.5 fib at 75K and then the 0.618 at 78. We should see some sort of reaction at this level, you know, depending on what price decides to do. What's up, Sparge? How are you? So does that mean wave 4 moves further to the right? Correct. Moves further to, you mean further up, you mean, John? Like, meaning we continue going upwards? It's possible. I mean, there's still no invalidation until 87,000 is taken out. This structure still holds, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And even if you look back on this, like, structure back here, like the whole thing, right? You had the 1, the 2, the 3, and then this 4, which was very complex. And then we're in the 5, and then you have a 1, 2, a drop 3, a 4, and then a 5. So as far, I was looking at this today too, like evaluating how long these wave 4s have taken. This took 54 days, and currently we are in basically day 39. Not that this is going to repeat or anything like that. I was just looking at this from a date range perspective, because you had these really quick, you know, wave 3s, right? You had this drop, which was really quick, and then this drop, which was really quick. And then you had just this really slow grinding up price action that has been taking a really long time. So for me, again, that's why it's a wave 4, just because there's no real impulsive, like, there's no quick, like, rip up, and then, like, this had a drop, and then another drop. So there's no changes to the plan, just being patient, waiting it out, seeing what price wants to do. So what's going on with Bitcoin? Just correction. I mean, this is typical for a complex 4. The price just grinds you out, and then you just kind of got to wait and sit on your hands. And this is where a lot of people just get chopped out between all this, choppy price action. You have multiple 3-wave movements, up, and then this could be another 3-wave movement up. So it's like, you kind of just got to wait it out, honestly. There's really no reason to rush right now, especially with what price is deciding to do. It's a pretty volatile week this week. We already looked at Forex Factory. So if you look at the Forex Factory for what's coming this week, I mean, we already had this today, so obviously that's done. Then you have Tuesday. You don't really have a big thing. I mean, you have an orange folder for pending home sales, so we'll see what that comes out to be. I mean, that's going to have very little impact. But then look at Wednesday. You have PPI coming out at 8:30 in the morning for us, and then you have the Fed funds rate decision at 2. So you got 2 big things coming out on Wednesday, which is going to drive volatility in the markets, and we'll see what this brings. I mean, if PPI comes in, whatever it decides to come in. Again, I don't really trade news, but just factoring this in, it's going to be volatile because you're going to have core PPI and then interest rate decision, and then Jerome Powell's going to speak on Wednesday, which could fuel some volatility for, a liquidation event to the downside, because this move, if you look I follow this other guy on Twitter, and he tracks order flow to see, is this spot positions? Is this leverage positions? A lot of this grind up is just leverage longs opening, not a lot of spot accumulation, which if price decides to go to the downside, it's going to liquidate all these longs and have these really quick dumps like we had back here in this sort of zone. All of that, I mean, you saw it on Twitter all the time. It was like 200 billion liquidated from the crypto market in the past hour, 500 billion, whatever the number was. But you had this really sharp liquidation event. And if people are piling in longs right here on the way up, that would make sense because price is kind of this ABC. Even this right here is an ABC. So if you have longs piling up the whole move up, that's driving price up, and then price decides to dip because there's not enough, push up with spot buying, next thing you know, you have a big liquidation event to the downside. So we're just going to let price action come to us, do our thing until 87,000. Again, until this wave 1 is broken all the way up here, price can do whatever it wants in this zone. If it just, continues to chop up and then we get the dump, whatever happens, for me, this is just a corrective wave 4, similar to this wave 4 back here. I mean, look at the stride. It's not, obviously it's not identical, but you had this quick move up, then a bounce down, then this grind up, and then a dump. And then look what we have here. You had this quick, move up, grind down, and then this quick bounce up. So I'm not saying that this is exact spitting image, but this wave 4s look very similar. So just got to factor that in and see what price decides to do. Serious question, what could invalidate your thesis? This level right here, 87,193, because this is the bottom of this wave 1, meaning wave 1, the ABC 2, and then the wave 3. If we decide to pump up past 87,193, then this entire wave 5 structure would be invalidated. So until that level is breached, still more downside is the next high probable target based on just the rules and the strategy and the sort of thesis the thesis for Elliott Wave. The next target is between the 1 and the 1.618. So down at, again, 60 to 50K. That hasn't changed for, I don't know, over a month. Can we look at XCN then on the smaller time frame of the most recent pump? Yeah, we can look at XCN. Take a look at Coinbase today. Yeah, we can look at Coinbase as well. But I have 2 other ones that I'm tracking on a smaller time frame too for some potential swing trades. I'll show you guys those today. I got some alerts set for them, so if price hits those levels, I'll probably open a swing trade on those. Most likely open like an option trade on that and take a position long. But until those levels are hit, I haven't opened anything yet. So I'll show you those today. But yeah, 60 to 50K is my next target. We'll kind of get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down somewhere in that range. And then once we hit the 60 to 50K region, that's when I'm going to start dollar cost averaging down here. Can you do Sui? Yeah, we can look at Sui for sure. Let me catch up on some of these comments here. When will Bitcoin hit 200K? Again, my strategy is geared around price, guys, not time. So I am not a time-based investor. If you guys know a strategy that predicts time, I'm all ears, but I trade undervalued positions. I'm a investor. I mean, I am looking to get into some swing trade stuff with some options, but for the most part, I am a long-term investor. I don't trade short-term. I don't put time targets on my trades. I enter at undervalued positions and then hold to the next target. So for me, based on this whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure up, if I can get this tool to work, for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure, I do have us probably bottoming around 55. You know, I'll just say 55, cut it in the middle. My next target's 200. So however long it takes to get there, that's what I'll be riding to. I know everyone likes to say, you know, you got to put a timestamp on this. Again, if you're an investor, you hold to your price. You don't, you know, trade based on time. If it takes, you know, a year, great. If it takes 2 years, great. If it takes 3 years, great. I mean, it really just depends on what price decides to do. Once we get some action off the bottom, then we'll be able to determine, you know, potentially how fast it'll move. If we get a really quick 1 with a 2, then we know our wave 3 is going to be, you know, even more explosive. But I think putting timetables on your investments is a recipe for disaster, because then you're going to be stressing out about your investment hitting a certain target by a certain timetable. So if you're like, all right, I want 200K to hit by, you know, March of 2027, and say price has an initial wave 1, a wave 2 down here, you're going to be like, well, price doesn't hit my target. I'm going to take profit here because, you know, I want to be out by this certain date. And then next thing you know, you get an explosive wave 3. So it's more about structure than it is time, and you just evaluate it as it comes out. We're oversold, bud. No more downside. I mean, hey, stick to your strategy. If that's your strategy, we can talk again in a couple months and see what happens. But again, we'll see. I have been tracking this entire move down for all those that follow me. For the past couple months, I've been saying that the same thing back in December. I got so many comments saying we're going to 125K. The bottom's in, you know, you're wrong. And, you know, price kind of did what its thing. So it's not about being right or wrong, but sticking to a strategy, removing your emotions, and removing emotional bias will prove to be very successful for you from an investor standpoint. If you consistently allow price action to manipulate your decision making, you'll lose 100% of the time. That makes sense that it is a future level position that caused the move up and maybe down. No, I mean, if you look at the order book, and I don't have subscriptions to certain softwares that track order books, but there are platforms out there that you can do so. I follow this guy on Twitter that basically shows everything like that, and he goes into basically looking at what's happening with price and evaluating the order books. And this entire move has been basically a lot of, there's some spot buying, but the most part is leverage longs opening. Not a lot of spot buying pressure, which in the past has caused liquidation events like this. So we'll see what happens. Again, I am, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm right until I'm wrong. I'm right until I'm wrong. I'm right until the 87,193 is my invalidation. If price pumps there, then you can call me wrong. My thesis is over. That's fine. But until that is breached, the next move is down. Because we're dealing with probabilities and we have to have a high confidence in our trade, and we're dealing with probabilities because, one, the market's very hard to read anyways, and you don't necessarily know where the market's going 100% of the time, but you have to have some sort of edge. And for me, Elliott Wave Theory is an edge. So looking at this structure, we're still due for one leg down. But let's go into, so in option, you do selling. So I'll probably buy like a call option on these two. We can take a look at those today. XCN, let's see. What was the chart we looked at before? Was it this one? I can't remember which. Yeah, we looked at this one. Okay, so that's right. Yeah, we looked at this chart on stream. And I think it was this move. Yeah, this move right here, right on the daily. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so yeah, this move right here is what we were looking at on the daily. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up. I mean, with these high volatile coins, again, like you get these massive pumps, which is why Elliott Wave Theory is geared for higher market cap coins, less volatility. Like this coin's a lower market cap. You can have like 20 to 30% swings, you know, to the upside and downside, which is why it's hard to track. But I mean, for this, it looks like we have, I mean, we've definitely taken a big retrace since here. I mean, if we look at this, right, we're way below the 0.786, and we've already kind of pumped to that level and rejected. But, I mean, it just looks like a massive A wave, B wave, and then C wave, and then maybe this C is the initial pump one with the 2, but if we look at it on the daily, like, there's really not a lot to go off of here. You just get this massive, you know, pump up and then a dump. I mean, if we go down to the 4 hour, maybe there's some structure to it. I mean, possibly. You know, maybe we get a mini 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is a wave 2, and then we're expecting a move up. But when you're dealing with coins like this, which are just hugely volatile, it's very hard to apply Elliott Wave Theory to it. Like, it's very hard because you can get, you know, a 20% swing up and then a 20% swing down, or a 30% swing up, 30% down. But, I mean, structurally wise, you have a big wave 1 and a wave 2, and you're at a big discount from the all-time high. And the next price target for XCN is 8 cents, which is, I don't know, what's that? I don't know what that math is, 0.006 to 8 cents. I don't know what the multiple on that is. But, you know, the best strategy with lower market cap coins is to wait for it to have this big ABC structure and then take a little bit of a dip here. You know, do you get another pump up with another dump, take another dip here? It's better for these to dollar cost average as opposed to trying to time bottoms because they're so volatile. They can swing up 30% down and 50% the other way. So for me, timing these things is really more so looking at Bitcoin and waiting for Bitcoin to make its move because, you know, if Bitcoin pumps 5%, these things can pump up, you know, 20% to the upside. But if Bitcoin drops 5%, these things can drop another 20. So with tokens like this, I mean, we do have a wave 1 and we're in the wave 2. Does this thing have a little bit more downside? Possible, but it's really hard to tell with these low market cap coins. Like Elliott Wave Theory is not geared for things like this. It's very hard with a lot of market volatility. But if you take a really structured approach to this and wait for a massive wave 1 with a wave 2 and then just track Bitcoin, if Bitcoin drops, you know, 10% and you see a 40% decline on this, you know, take a little bit of a position. Then if Bitcoin pumps a little bit more, you're in the trade. But if Bitcoin dumps a little bit more and this thing takes another 20% downside, you buy a little bit more. So with these, it's harder to time bottoms. It's more about just accumulating at discounts. To get to the 50 to 44 zone, we first get to 60 to 50 zone, bounce again to 90, and then get... I'm confused on your question, Pedro. To get to 50 to 44 zone, we will first get to 60, 50, bounce again to 90, and then get to 50/44. Are you referring to Bitcoin? I'm confused on that question. Oh, wow. I missed a lot of comments, guys. Sorry about that. Nick, can you take a look at Superverse? Yeah, we can look at Superverse. What side of the stick to go under, top to bottom or bottom to top? I don't understand that question. That one is confusing me. Yeah, we can look at Link. Raj, what's going down? What's going on, man? I think bottom is in. We might go down a little and then up. If you're referring to Bitcoin, I hate being the bearer of bad news because I want to be on the side of bottoms in. I definitely do. Don't get me wrong, but I just, again, structurally wise, we haven't satisfied the structure yet. And I hate to say that every single time we get on live because, you know, obviously there's FOMO and euphoria right now. We have this, you know, pump up, but again, structurally, we've only had a 1, 2, 3, 4. We still need the 5. So while I understand price is pumping and everyone's getting euphoric right now, we still got to take our emotions out of trading. And rely on a strategy. I mean, bottom, sure, bottom could potentially be in. I could be wrong. But based on the data that I'm seeing in the structure, we're still due for one more dump lower. I think he's talking about, but yes, Bitcoin. Oh, so you're saying to get to 54, we will first go to 60. So you think we're going to go to 50 to 60, then bounce to 90, and then back to 50? Is that what you're saying? I don't see that, because based on this structure, we've already been in a corrective mode for over a year. Because we've already had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure and then an ABC. And what comes after an ABC is another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When price starts moving rapidly, you know, that's going to be fun. Like, I'm very much looking forward to that. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm excited for that. I'm waiting for that time, because a 200K Bitcoin is going to be fantastic. And I think what's going to happen is when we bottom and then we start ripping to the upside, you're going to see a lot of people talking about, you know, the bottom's not in yet. This is a bounce, and then we're going to dump further. I'm going to be flipped, and I'm going to be reversed, saying this is the start of the impulse 1, this is the 2, and then we get a massive 3. So I'm waiting for that, guys. I'm not against you. I hope that you don't take it that way. But structurally wise, I hate to be the bearer of the bad news, but we do have, based on the data I'm seeing, we do have one more leg lower. By the way, how much Bitcoin so far is down from all-time high? Let's see. Where's my price range thing? Hold on. So for me, the wave 5 was back here. So technically that was the high, and this is just a corrective AB, but this was the price from the high. From current levels right now, we're what, at like 74.89? Is that where we're at? Somewhere around there? We're down 40% from all-time highs right now is where we're down. And if we correct to 55, that would be a 55% retrace. How probable to get to 44 at this next down? It's tough without developing price action right now, because the zones that I'm looking forward to, I mean, I'm in Bitcoin, so I'm not like not in Bitcoin. I'm just looking to add more. I just want to accumulate more at these levels. But the next zone that I have is between the 1 and the 1.618 at 60 to 50. The 2 is at 45, which the price can extend to the 2. I'm not saying it can't, but typically it'll retrace to the 0.618 or the 1.618, which will get like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down like that, something like this. But if we get a really explosive wave 1 with a wave 2 that goes like this, and then a really strong wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, it's possible we can hit 45, but my high target zone is between the 1 and 1.618. That's what I'm looking for. But I'm waiting to enter. I haven't bought anything yet. I'm waiting to enter on alts as well. You don't think it's breaking out? No, I mean, if you look at the, let's look at the, like, just look at the structure on the daily. Like, for me, this whole structure just looks, we have an ABC, an ABC, another ABC. This could be an A wave and another ABC wave. So everything's just three wave movements on, like, even on the 4 hour. If you look at the 4 hour, right? This can't be a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, which is what you want to see. If you're truly getting an impulse off the lows, you want to see a 1, 2, an explosive 3, a 4, and a 5. But this is just all 3 range movements, because you have an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, you have another ABC, then you have another ABC, then you have this A wave, then another ABC. So you're just getting multiple ABC movements in here, which is not indicative of an explosive wave up. I'll show you what that looks like. A really clean example is on Robinhood. So if we go to Robinhood on the daily chart, let me clean up some of this stuff. I'll show you what it looks like, which is what you want to see in explosive movements. Or, like, this is a really good example of it. You see how explosive this price is moving. You get the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. Boom. You get really explosive movement. And then you get an A wave, a B wave, C wave. Then you get, you know, these really explosive 5-wave move, 2-wave move, 3, 4, and 5. So you get these really explosive movements, which for Bitcoin right now, on the 4 hour chart, everything's just a 3-range choppy move. Like, that's all it is right now. And that's not indicative of impulsive price action. That's all corrective. And that's what you see in this whole structure. I mean, if you look at the whole structure, you just have A, B, C, and then you have this B wave, and then another C wave, then another A, B, C, and then you have another wave, then you have an A, B, C, another A, B, C, a B, another A, B, C. Then you have this, which was kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down, but then you have this A wave, B wave, C wave, then another A, B, C, then this A wave, B wave, and C wave. And on this C wave, if this is truly an A, B, C with an A and then another C, like there's just a bunch of choppy 3-range movements, which is what you don't want to see on an impulsive move. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Zcash. All right, there's a lot of requests for Zcash, so we can do it. So do you trade by meeting your goal or your limit? I don't know what you mean by that question. Meeting your goal. I don't trade. I'm an investor. I am incorporating some swing trading into my overall like strategy and portfolio, but I'm an investor. Everyone that claims to be a day trader loses money. So I disagree with that statement. 95 to 99% of people who claim to be day traders sell courses. They don't actually make money during their day trading. I know there's a big scam. There's a big thing right now. I have no clue what it is, but I've been seeing it on my For You page. Apparently, like TGR is under a lot of heat right now for apparently scamming his community and promoting a day trading thing that, isn't successful, and he's scamming all his people by promoting a course, and then his trades really aren't real. Again, I don't know the guy. I have no idea. He could be running a successful business, but I've been seeing a lot of heat. I don't know if that's just marketing and a way for him to get more exposure, but I hope that it's not true and that he is a really good day trader, but apparently he's under a lot of heat, and he's one of the quote unquote biggest guys in the space as far as day trading. So I just kind of push back on that. I think a lot of day trading strategies, people want to market it as gambling. Like, day trading is not gambling, guys. You're not gambling your money. Like, this isn't a get rich quick scheme and a way to just, use your emotions in the market. Everyone looks at that on TikTok and says, "Oh my God, these guys are making so much money." It's all clickbait, guys. Like, don't fall for a trap just because they're flexing money, which they don't have. Like, just don't fall for that bullshit. And if I can offer any piece of advice, if they're constantly flexing money, constantly flexing cars and watches and, screenshotting their trades and, acting like a fool on the camera, it's all fucking theater. Don't pay attention to it. Just day trading is not gambling. I can't stress that enough. Earthy Hand with the Lightning. Thank you. And I push back on all that stuff because they all market it like it's a fucking gambling casino. It's not. It's your money. You're not gambling and buying courses and all this bullshit. What's up, Drew? How's it going? Goat. Yeah, I mean, hey, I push back on it because I got some morals and some values. At what price is your Bitcoin 5-way down and validate? 87,193. Let's look at, I think Zcash was in there, so let's look at Zcash. I saw a lot of replies for Zcash. I thought we looked at Zcash before, did we not? Yeah, there's some markings on here which lead me to believe we have looked at Zcash. Okay, so yes, we've looked at Zcash. Okay, so for me, Zcash on the monthly, we've had a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3. We're currently in the 4, and then the next target is the wave 5. And so far of the wave 4, we've retraced to about the 0.618. We're kind of, right at that level. Drew, hello. How's your day been? Good, man. How are you? How are yours? Those people make money for business, not trading. They know their edge. Yeah, 100%. They scam you with highly engaging, hype marketing content to get you to buy their courses. They make money off of you, and then they go throw it into the market and fake screenshot their trades, from some sort of bullshit fucking account. And then they make money off you that way. And they're like, "Oh my God, look at how much I made from trading." Bunch of crooks, man. Bunch of crooks. But either way, let's look at Zcash. So for me, we do have a wave 1 for Zcash here, a wave 2. Then we have this wave 3. We're currently in the 4. And of the wave 4, it definitely looks like we have an A wave, a B wave, and we're currently in the C wave. On the C wave, let me get this out of the way so I can see. That's right. Yes, this is what we were looking at. Okay, so on Zcash right now, it definitely looks like we have, a completed wave 3, this A wave, and then this complex B wave, and then we're currently in the C. And from what I could tell, we had this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, A, B, C, 2, this wave 3, this wave 4. This doesn't look in pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, A, B, C. No, I mean, honestly, on Zcash, it does look like the bottom's in on Zcash. Because, yeah, this is what when did we draw this? I can't remember when we draw. This was weeks ago, so I didn't do an update on this, so my apologies on this. But it does look like we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a deep retrace 4, and then a wave 5, because we have this 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 4, wave 5, and then we have this initial wave 1, wave 2, we're in the wave 3, we should get a pullback 4 and a wave. Yeah, I mean, Zcash honestly looks like the bottom's in. So, with that being said, the next target on Zcash is, I want to say we did this a while ago. I can't remember when we last did Zcash on stream, but looking at this, the next target for Zcash, sorry guys, let me get this into screen. The next target for Zcash is between basically 1,300 and 1,000. That's the next. That would be the next target for Zcash, between the 1.618 and the 2. So basically around $1,000 for Zcash. Yeah, we can probably already did it, but need Bitcoin. Yeah, we can look at Bitcoin. A wave 5 that doesn't break wave 3 low, since when is that a thing? It's a truncated 5 wave, so that can happen, but it's not check next. Trading meme coins? No trading meme coins. Yeah, that's never happening. Well, I mean, based on the structure, that's what's next for Zcash, $1,000. You can have a truncated 5th. Let me see if I can find it here. We got the book here. Let me see if I can find the truncated 5th. The only rules that are stated is impulsive wave. Let me see here. Hold on. Give me a second. Rule number 1, wave 2 never falls below the starting point of wave 1. Wave 3 is often the longest wave, but never the shortest of the 5 waves. Wave 3 can be shorter than wave 1 or 5, but can't be shorter than both. Wave 4 cannot enter wave 2 territory. So there's no rules around it. The only thing that has to fulfill is wave 3 has to be the longest wave, but it cannot be the shortest wave. Other than that, wave 5 can be a truncated 5, and you can have that. It's less common. Not every time it happens. That's why you use this as a guide and you wait for a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For my next targets on Zcash, it is 1,000, but it can happen. It's a scam coin. It doesn't matter. I don't know much about Zcash from a fundamental standpoint. I'm just basing it off the chart. But if you think it's a scam coin, I mean, it has a massive, massive move. And from an Elliott Wave standpoint, the next logical thing is wave 1, 2, 3. We've had a 4, then we get a 5 to 1,000. So you may view it as a scam coin. Mark my words, never reaching back above 400. All right, well, we shall see what happens there. $2. We shall see what happens in the next couple months. And if 1,000 hits, then you can make a video about it and rug that, John. I don't own Zcash, so I have no money in the game, but based on the structure, we do have a really clean 1-2 ABC down. We have an initial pushes off the low, which, again, this is what you want to see off of the lows. This is what I was talking about with Bitcoin, is you have a really big impulsive wave 1, 2, and then a big impulsive wave 3. That's what you want to see off the low, is a really big impulsive wave. And if you look at it on the smaller time frame, let's see what we got here. On the smaller time frame, it looks like we have the wave 1, 2, the wave 3. We should get a 4 and a 5. Yeah, so we have a 1. We have a 1. Where's my paintbrush? Grab the paintbrush. 1, an ABC 2, a wave 1, 2. We get a 3, 4, 5. That'll complete the third wave. Then we'll get a 4 and then another 5. So we essentially have something like this developing for Zcash. We have the 1, the 2. We're waiting for the 3, get the 4, and then the 5. And that'll be the initial wave 1 off of these lows. So What do I mean by that? I will show you. So once we get that completed, that'll be the initial wave 1 off of the... Why is it drawn like that? Okay, let me do it over here. That'll be the initial wave 1 off the lows. Then we'll get the... What the hell? Why is that doing that? Why is it squiggling like this? Is there something in the way over here? Let me turn the magnet off. What? What in the world? Okay, but essentially you'll get a wave 1, wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5 up to 1,000. And this will be the wave 1, and then we'll get the 2, and then the 3, 4, 5. I don't know why it's drawing squiggly. I have no idea. That's pissing me off. But this will be the initial wave 1. And then you'll get the pullback 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. So my next target on that's 1,000. Let's see here. Tau is a scam as well. No reason for its pump. Are you just hating on coins, $2? Like, I mean, I don't know your end goal here. I don't really know what you're getting. It seems like every token that someone puts in the chat, you say it's a scam. It's either you're right or you missed out on the trade and you're just hating on people's trades because you missed out on it. So I can't help you there. If you missed out on the trade, then there we go. That's weird. If you missed out on the trade, you know, can't help you there. Tau, my next target is time frame. Oh, this is monthly time frame. So these are monthly candles, but this looks to be the initial wave 1 off the low. Then we'll get the 2, then we'll get the 3, the 4, and the 5, up to about $1,000. Tau, my next target on Tau is 1,300. Actually, I like Sui too. Sui looks really good. Like, Sui's a really good example of Elliott Wave Theory. Was that Slenderman? Sui? Yeah, Sui's a really good example of it. If you look at it on the weekly, like, you have a really clean structure for Sui. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have this A wave, A, B, C, B wave, and then you almost have this A, B. This, like, you see this on some charts, but then you don't see it on other charts. For me, it almost looks like an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, and then you get this pullback B. And then for me, it's like an initial 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 wave drop. And on this drop, I do have one more leg lower on Sui. I do. So for me, this was the initial 1, 2, and then we get the 3, the 4, and then the 5, and we're due for this is the 4, and then we get one more leg lower for Sui. I'm looking at dollar cost averaging around maybe 70 to 80 cents for Sui. And then after that, my next target on Sui is $8.70 for Sui. So I'm looking to buy in sub $1, and then $8.70 is my next target on Sui. But this is an example of a really clean chart too, and newer price action too, because you had a really good impulsive move back in August of 2024 is when it started. You had a 5-wave move up, an ABC down, and then you get a wave 3 to the 1.618 at $8.70. ACOM stock, please. 10 ACOM. We can look at ACOM. I mean, Sui has basically I mean, you can get an extension to the 2 or the 2.618, but if we get a drop, which is what I'm thinking for a lot of altcoins with Bitcoin, you know, declining from 75K to 55, I mean, that's a 20K drop, which altcoins are going to bleed too. So once we get the drop for Bitcoin, we get the drop for altcoins, load up on that dip. That's what my plan is, and then ride this up. I mean, that could be a nice 10x trade for Sui. Time frame, these are monthly candles again. That mean bit. Should we buy Bitcoin now or wait? Again, in my opinion, we have one more leg lower, so I'm waiting to buy. Long Tau right now, buddy. I don't do any leverage trades, so I won't be interested in that. You should be shorting this pump in the next 1 to 2 days. I am currently waiting for this drop, and then we'll decide if I want to long it from the bottom. I am going to buy spot, but I might do a long trade as well. What are we even saying? Thanks, Austin. Pokemon Map's going viral right now. All right, don't click that contract address. What's the top? About $30. For SUI, no, I have SUI between $13 and $9. That's my next target. Skywalker said, take your emotions out of investing. Yeah, 100%. Emotions are going to make you lose 100% of the time. You got to take your emotions out of trading. You can't invest with emotions or you're going to lose every time. Right, but you're on TikTok asking someone else for their target on Tau. Sounds like $2 is just a hater, guys. I don't really know what else you got to say. He just likes the hate. So we appreciate it. You're boosting my algorithm. So again, thank you for the support. It sounds like this is your first live stream. Everything is transparent. Go back and watch my videos and you'll learn. But, you know, until then, feel free to hate. I don't really care. Yeah, go troll elsewhere, 100%. But yeah, if you have any thoughts, what is it? $2. If you got any thoughts, let me know. What do you think? What is your good investment right now since everything's a scam? Let me know your top 1 to 2 holdings. What you got? Let's hear what you got. In the meantime, I'm going to read YouTube chat, but feel free to put down your top 2 tickers, and then we'll analyze them. We'll see what we're working with. AVGO analysis. What's up, Kush? How are you? So there will be a second drop at the end of the year, 2026, right? Any idea of the bottom at that time? So for me, the bottom's in soon, Pedro. I don't have another drop at the end of the year. I don't have a big pump up and then a dump down. That's not what I'm thinking. We've been in a corrective mode for over a year. For me, this is an ABC bottom, and then after that, we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up to 200K. So I don't have another bottom. If we prolong the bottom until late 2026, and that's how long it takes to complete this wave C, and then we start the uptrend, that's fine. But once that bottom for me is done, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, that's the bottom. There's no more, unless we do a super correction, but the odds of that are very slim. I'm watching this stream on Apple Vision Pro and it's nice. That's awesome. I have those are the glasses, right? I don't have those. Let's see. Can you do VRT? Yeah, we can look at Veritiv. Ethereum, Quant, and Sui. We did Sui. Or no, we're on Sui right now. We're on Sui right now. Skywalker said he's broke. Oh wait, $2. We're still waiting for your 2 plays. Can you give those to us so the chat can be enlightened by your absolute amazing knowledge? Hello, Nick. Can you do Stark? Yeah, we can do Stark. Sorry, it's hard to get through all the requests because there's so many, so I'm trying to do like one at a time. Brett? What's up, John? How are you? Let's see. I want to show you guys some of the swing trades I'm evaluating. I want to show you guys those because those ones are looking pretty good. I just don't know how to get to my watch list. Oh, here we go. There's watch list. So these are the 2 ones that I have potential. I'm looking at HIMS for a potential swing trade here. And for me, this is what the structure looks like on HIMS. And this is where I'm probably going to open a swing trade on. I'm just waiting for the price to reach my level. So we have a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, and then a 4, and then a 5. And then we're currently in this A, B with a C, and we look to be bouncing off of the lows here on the wave C. I mean, we had a really strong move off of the bottoms. I think we popped almost 50%, something like that. But my next target on it for this being basically this entire A, B, and then C wave structure. And then if you zoom in here on this initial pop on the 4 hour, it looks like we have like a really small, almost wave 1, A, B, C, and then we have this wave 3, wave 4, and we might get one more push up. And then I'm waiting for the ABC corrective somewhere between the 0.5 and the 0.618 is what I'm waiting on. And once we get that for me is when I'm going to enter a trade. So this being the wave 1 off the lows, and then we get a wave 2 down to the 0.5, 0.618, which will be my trigger for the entry. I have an alert at around $20. And once that alert, tells me, hey, price, I'll track it every day, but I just wanted to have an alert there just in case I miss it. But once we get this initial wave 1 with the pullback 2 around the 0.5, I'm going to enter the trade long there. And my targets for that will be, say we get a one more push up for a wave 5 to like $29 and we enter around 20. My next target on that will be 45. So we'll have this being the wave 1. This being the wave 1 off the lows, the wave 2, and then the wave 3 targeting $45. For me, that's when I'm going to look to take a long position. I'll probably open a call option here, maybe like a year out. and then, you know, ride that thing up for the next wave. So this is one that I'm evaluating for a swing trade. Let's see. Orion. Oh, I have Orion chain. Is that Orion chain, right? I think I have that. Can you just see Orion? Yeah, we can do. What was the book you were looking at? Well, if you're going to come in here and hate so much, $2, I'm not going to give you that information. So, no, thank you. If you're going to hate the stream, might as well dip. Don't ask me for nothing if you're going to hate on all my shit. So the initial wave 1, obviously the wave 2 and the wave 3, I will let you guys know when I enter a call option down here, but that's what I'm waiting for. I did want to gently point out something worth considering at those price levels. The total market cap would actually surpass Bitcoin's, which might make those targets a bit on the optimistic side. Is that for Zcash, Drew? Or which one were you referring to? But that's at Bitcoin's current market cap. We got to remember, if, you know, with this next wave up, Bitcoin's going to appreciate as well. But yeah, again, I don't know the fundamentals behind Zcash, so that's also something you got to consider as well. Oh, on Sui. Would that, what would the market cap be at that level? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, again, this is one that I'm evaluating, and then I'll look at it in a second. I'll look at Sui. And then the other one I'm looking at is VG, Venture Global. That's another one that I'm looking to potentially swing trade here. We have a really good movement off of this basically, you know, big consolidation here. And then we have this initial wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then we're in sort of the top of the wave 5, and I'm waiting for a pullback to around $9 towards the 0.5 fib retracement on this one. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have a pullback ABC. If $9 gets hit, if we hit the 0.382 and then obviously pop, I won't enter the trade because it doesn't fulfill my strategy and my rules. But if we get a pullback somewhere around $9.50, that would be where I'm entering the trade. And if we get that, the next target I'm taking for this is somewhere around $21. So, you know, another, you know, 100% move. Those are the two things that I'm watching right now to open up some swing trades. What's up, Kevin? Ignore them. $2 for just being a troll, but I had to let him know that he can't see the book. You gotta buy Hood too. Sparsh, we will look at Hood just because you come in here every single day and ask for us to look at Robinhood. Oh man, you crack me up. But yes, Robinhood is actually a really good example of Elliott Wave Theory. Like, again, guys, when we're looking at charts, we want to find charts that have clean moves. I know that we like to look at every chart, but not every chart is created equal. This has a really good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move with this ABC down. I do see one more dip to around $63, which would coincide with the 0.618 fib, right around 63, 64 bucks. And it also coincides with the daily. So for me, I have another dip here to about 64, and my next target on Robinhood's 300. No changes, Sparch. No changes. 300's next, buddy. 300's next. I may open a swing trade on this one too, but I'm looking at HIMS first and then VG. Whichever one triggers my entry price first is what I'm going to be entering in to a swing long position. I'll buy like a couple call options on that and then ride that thing up. But I might just spot buy Robinhood at 64 because it's a good, 5x potential. STRK coin. You mentioned that in the beginning, so let's look at that. Is that Stark? Is that StarkNet? Let's see. Well, again, guys, this is another reason why I say, what the hell? No, that's Strike. That's not Stark. Is it this one that has the most? I don't want to shit on this coin, but there's nothing to go off of here, guys. Like, it's just a straight downward chain. Like, I'm happy to look at it, but it just looks like we have an A wave. Well, actually, it almost looks like we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. Impulsive wave to the downside. I mean, maybe we get an ABC off of this low. Maybe we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's no structure to go off of here, so there's really there's nothing to tell us what's next. It's all just corrective. So I would avoid STRK coin. Until we get structure off the bottom, if we get something like this where we get a nice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move, then I'd say, okay, STRK is on my radar. I'm going to wait for an ABC pullback. And then now that we have structure to go off of, thank you for the heart. Join the fan club. Oh, that was cool. But once we get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off the lows, then we get an ABC. I would enter on the ABC because the risk to reward's better. And then after you get something like this, the ABC, you enter this, and then you have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So until that happens, STRK is just incorrect to move. Nick, it seems that stocks are going down and crypto is going up. Yes, it does seem that way. And that, again, is probably just decoupling. I mean, I think it's happened in the history of crypto and stocks. Like crypto goes up, stocks go down, which could make sense because obviously traders seek undervalued positions. So if, you know, stocks to me look overvalued just based on, if you look at SPY, like if you look at SPY, we've kind of done this already, but if you look at SPY right here, right, you have a wave 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and then a 5. So like there's not much room for SPY to move up. And like there is potential for this thing to continue moving upwards. But if you look at this and abide by the rules of Elliott Wave Theory, we're sitting right at the 1.618, which is typically where wave 5 tops. So we have, and of this wave 5 right here, we have the 1 back here, the 2, and then we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, and the wave 4, and then this wave 5 to the 1.618. So there's a limited upside with SPY, which obviously tracks a lot of positions, but it almost looks like we've topped it and then we're retracing. So if we get something like this, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, that all traders and whoever's taking profits up here will rotate those gains into undervalued positions, and that for me is crypto. Is Hood under? I mean, I think Hood from a fundamental standpoint does have a lot of things going for it. The chart suggests it's highly undervalued right now. Again, that's why 300 is my next target. But if you look at that, right, you know, we've already kind of had a decline off the 1.618, which would give me confidence in saying that SPY has topped or has limited upside. And then if we look at this entire 5-wave move, if I can get it, the next zone that I'm waiting for SPY is between 512 and basically 400. It could also decline to the 0.236. I'm not ruling that out, but these levels are what we're going to want to look at for SPY to correct to. You know, we could get a correction to 500. We could get a correction to 450. We could also come down to 400. Down here at the 0.786, that'd be like a 1929 crash. I don't necessarily see us declining like all the way down here, but somewhere between the 0.382 and the 0.618 is a logical correction for most of this stuff. And if we get this A wave, B wave here, and this C wave down to the 0.5, where do you think all that's going to go? All that, you know, people that are taking profits are going to seek undervalued positions, which is crypto. What about the Russell? We can look at Russell for sure. What is going on with Bitcoin? What's going on, Aiden? Nothing changed, man. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. I mean, yes, we are having a short pump, sure, but there's really nothing, there's nothing too much going on with Bitcoin, guys. It's just, we're just being patient. There's really no change to the structure. I know everyone, again, emotions are going to get the best of you in corrective, choppy things, because every time it pumps and every time it dumps, you know, you're going to think the top is in, then you're going to think the bottom's in, then the top's in, then the, you know, just stick to a strategy, guys. I can't stress this enough. Emotions will get the best of you in trading. I've learned it the hard way. From the past 8 years of trading and investing with your emotions is going to get you wrecked every single time. You'll blow through accounts. You'll make the wrong decision. You'll buy when you're supposed to sell. You'll sell when you're supposed to buy because of emotions. That's the number one thing that people don't focus on enough. You can focus on strategy. You can focus on, you know, fundamentals. You can focus on all this stuff. But if your emotions are not in check, you're going to lose. No matter how much, because if you're following the strategy, and your strategy is saying one more dip lower, but you're getting faked out by this price action pumping up, you're going to be like, oh, wait, no, I need to go reevaluate because, you know, my emotions are out of whack. So this has got to be the bottom. The bottom's in down here. So I'm going to buy here. And the next thing you know, you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down. Your strategy plays out how you thought it would. And then you're kicking yourself in the teeth because your emotions got the best of you. So if there's anything that I can tell you, mindset is more important than this. If you can't have your mind in check and your emotions in check, you're gonna lose. CRO, yeah, we could look at CRO. Bitcoin, we did Bitcoin. I don't really know. Is CRO that that's that token? That's the Los Angeles Lakers stadium, right? Kronos, isn't that? Didn't they buy the stadium? I mean on Kronos. I mean, look at this. I mean, look how choppy that shit is. So none of this is impulse. So this is nothing. There's nothing here. Like you have this wave 1, 2, and then you have this 3, but then the 4 corrects into the territory. I mean, this just looks like an A, B, C, A wave. Or no. Yeah, A, B, C, A wave, A, B, C, B wave. I mean, all this price action is just choppy as shit too. You get this push, decline push, and then it retraces lower than this push, and then it retraces lower. Honestly, this one for me, I mean, I know it has fundamentals going for it. I think Trump is working with them or something like that. But until we get impulses off the low, I mean, now I was going to say maybe this one right here. You know, maybe this zone was an impulse, but from looking at it, it looks just like an ABC wave. And then looking at these, it looks like an ABC. This just looks like a straight pump. Yeah, I mean, for me, I try to find tokens and projects and stocks that have really clean charts that I have high confidence in investing. Until we get, you know, a structure that looks like this off the low, I don't have high confidence in saying we're going to dip or pump. There's really nothing to go off of here. Everything just looks choppy and corrective. I do think, based on my Bitcoin thesis, we probably get one more dump lower for CRO, and then we'll, you know, pump, just because, you know, a rising tide lifts all ships. So when Bitcoin pumps and everything else is pumping, you'll see some pumps. But as far as where it goes, we're gonna have to wait till a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move off the low with an ABC, and then we can chart out the target for the wave 3. Until that happens, it's kind of just in corrective mode. On Coinbase. I kind of see the same thing on Coinbase. It just looks like an ABC, and then another wave down, then a pump. Then this looks like an ABC, and then another dump. It looks the same. Superverse. Superverse. I guess Bing. I don't. Am I supposed to super? Is it just super? Oh wait, here we go. I don't know why that didn't show up before. Binance. HBAR. What's up, Matt? How are you? Yeah, we can look at HBAR. I mean, I don't know too much about Superverse. Like, I have no idea what their fundamentals are. I mean, on a monthly chart, there's really not much. Like, I mean, look, like, that's what the monthly looks like. I mean, it really doesn't get you anything. I mean, on the daily, I mean, maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I feel like I would just be like, I'd have to look at this structure. Like, this would be, to me, like, there's just better assets out there. I just, personally, this structure right here just doesn't give me a lot of confidence. There's just better assets out there that I would invest in. Hood looks better, HIMS looks better, MSTR looks better, SUI looks really good, XRP looks really good, HBAR looks really good. Like, there's just other assets with better structure than this. I personally just wouldn't put my capital here. I don't mean to shit on the project. I mean, maybe it has some really good fundamentals behind it, but structurally wise, I wouldn't personally feel comfortable putting my capital here. Super is one of the best coins, very strong coin. I mean, possible. It probably has some good fundamentals behind it, but again, I don't really know what from a structure standpoint. It doesn't. Jasmy coin. Yeah, we can look at Jasmy. Let the people buy. Hey, I don't tell you guys what to buy. If you guys want to buy Super, go ahead. For me personally, I just wouldn't put my capital here. Solana looks really good too. AG, like as in gold, or AG as in like crypto? AG. How do the good ones look? I'll show you I'll show you 3 examples. Sparsh, this is for you, buddy. Hood, really clean. Hood is like a really clean chart. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave 2, then you have a wave 3, wave 4, and then a wave 5, and then this ABC down. This just has a really clean chart for me. The bottom is in somewhere around $64 and 300's next, so that's a 5x. MSTR has a really good chart from, like, if you look at it on the monthly standpoint, we have a really good move up on MSTR. Really good moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up with an ABC. Let's see. Sui has a really good chart. Where's the Sui one? So Sui, if you look at it on the weekly, Sui has a really clean chart. You have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up with this A, B, and then C structure down. And on Sui, like, again, this is suggesting about an 8. Well, I do have one more dip lower on Sui, but $8.70 to $10. I mean, that from current prices is a 9 to 10x, which is a great trade. Sui looks really good. I mean, there's just other assets with better. I think H-bar too has a really good structure, but there's just better structures on the table for stuff like this. Like if we look at H-bar, you got to go to it on the daily time frame, but H-bar has a really good wave 1 here, and then you have this wave 2, and then we're in the wave 3 targeting about 65 cents, and then we have this initial wave 1 with an ABC pullback, and then the wave 3 is next. XRP looks really good. There's just other charts that look better. AG, First Majestic Silver Stock. AG, I mean, we could think AG first. Yeah, Matt, on H-bar, my next target's 65 cents. I personally own H-bar. I'm in somewhere around like this level. I want to say I'm in around 9 cents, 8 cents, somewhere like around here. So I'm waiting for about 65 cents is my next target on H-bar. AG, First Majestic Silver Core. I have no idea. Thanks. Was debating to grab some. Yeah, I mean, H-bar looks, again, with my Bitcoin thesis, with Bitcoin kind of bottoming a little bit more, I do see H-bar dipping just naturally. When Bitcoin dips 5 to 10%, altcoins are going to have, you know, that red day that we typically see because they're kind of in that uncertainty zone right now until we start getting some impulses off the low. But I do think H-bar probably dips a little bit more. If you want to grab some there, that'd be a good risk to reward. So for me, I would just be patient. If you own some right now, you're already in the trade and you kind of just ride that out. But with Bitcoin dipping, I do think we see a lower value on H-bar. Grab some, you know, dollar cost average on that and then ride that thing up to 65 cents would be a great trade. First Majestic Silver. What time is it, by the way? 7:21. Okay. I mean, let me go to the weekly. I mean, this kind of looks like, let's see, wave 1, 2. I'm just trying to, like, this looks weird on here. There's definitely structure here. Like this looks like a wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. I mean, maybe this is the wave 1 here, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. So that would be the wave 1. And then you have this long ass chop for how many freaking years is that? 2011 until here. This just looks like one wave 1 with an A, B, C, D, E structure. And then we're kind of in the next wave now. And of this, I mean, you kind of have this wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and then you have an ABC structure. So we probably pull back to maybe, it really just depends on how deep this wave wants to go, but somewhere between $19 and $14 would be a pullback for this wave, because you have a 5-wave move up, then you should get an ABC down. And the targets for me is usually between the 0.382 and the 0.618. That's where the bottom is usually found. So between $19 and $14 is a target on that. And if that happens, you know, say we go down to the 0.5, the next target on that would be 53. So you'd have this being the initial wave 1, the wave 2, and then we'll get a wave 3 up to about $53. That would be what my next targets are, between 19 and 14, and then 53 is next. What up, Patrick? Juice it up. What's up, Patrick? How Elliott Wave play into coins with inflation like H-bar? So Elliott Wave does factor in a lot of like a lot of psychological things too. Like that's kind of the theory behind Elliott Wave, is when you get these wave 1s with the wave 2s, like that's where you get all the fear and the doubt. And this wave was this wave will not last. We're going to go to new all-time lows. And then next thing you do is you get, the explosive wave 3. So it also factors that in. H-bar for me, just with that initial pump, I do see us probably pumping a little bit more, but from a fundamental standpoint, I don't know too much about the inflation stuff. I do own H-bar. I think they've gotten a lot of like fundamental things going for them, but as far as inflation goes, I'm not entirely sure when it comes to that perspective. Price prediction on XRP. My next target on XRP is $6. Bebo, just saw your vid. I just closed Bitcoin short for 6K. Realized loss. Feel like I should get back in 77K. Again, I can't legally provide investment advice. I can give you my opinion. I mean, my next zones are 60 to 50K on Bitcoin. So, do with that what you will. I think the better, again, I was talking to someone yesterday about this, the better risk to reward, in my opinion, instead of trying to time this Bitcoin short and worrying about an entry here, my personal opinion would be wait until you get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drop and then take a long. If you want to get a leverage play or whatever, a swing short or a swing long, the better risk to reward play is, don't mess around with this complex 4 and try to time this, because we could shoot up, we could shoot down, you could get liquidated. Wait for the 5-wave move down first and then take a position down here, because you're at a better risk to reward, because now the structure is complete. Take a position down here and then ride it up, because you're just going to look a lot better and you're going to be eliminating a lot of the risk with trying to play around with this complex 4. That would be my opinion. When do you expect the wave 5 to happen? I mean, it depends. We'll see, this week, because we got a lot of volatile news stuff this week that could usher in a liquidation event wave 1. Then if we get a big drop in a 5-wave move followed by a pullback 2 that doesn't invalidate the starting point of this wave 1 with a big drop 3, that'll be a really good start. So we'll see kind of what the Fed does on Wednesday. Again, I do think that a lot of people will justify what the news says, and that's like, oh, well, price is moving. But again, technicals are saying we have one more leg down, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Technicals are suggesting that. You can see it on the chart. And again, this is just my personal strategy. You don't have to agree with me, but technicals are suggesting we get another dump down. And once we get this drop down, people will say, oh, well, the Fed is doing this. They're messing up the chart. They're manipulating it, whatever they spin as a narrative. But the technical is still suggesting one more drop lower. So do with that information what you will. I think that everyone tries to use news to justify why price does what it does. And for me, it's just technicals really just lead that a lot more. How does short-term on Chainlink? So, I mean, Chainlink, my next target on Chainlink's $90 on Chainlink. My next target on it's 90 based on this structure. So you have this initial wave 1 with the pullback 2. We're currently in the 3. And based on the fib targets, with this being the wave 1, 2, and the wave 3 typically targets the 1.618, my next target is $90 for Chainlink. Because if Bitcoin decides to do what I think it's going to do based on the structure, we might get an initial pullback with Chainlink, right? Like if Bitcoin drops from, what is that percent drop? I want to see what that percent drop is. If Bitcoin drops from, hold on. If Bitcoin drops from the current price, where is that price range? If we get a drop from, say, 75 down to 55, that's a 25% drop. What do you think alts are going to do? So for me, a lot of alts will also have pullbacks. To the extent of how far, hard to tell, because again, alts are a hell of a lot volatile. You get huge swings on these things. I mean, look at this massive pump, right? You get this big pump, but again, everything looks choppy. It's just a bunch of three-way moves. So, you know, if we get this 25% decline on Bitcoin, which is what I'm thinking, I mean, Chainlink could take a nosedive, you know, 30, 40%. So Chris said, buy the dip. What's up, Chris? Yeah, buy the dip, man. Buy the dip. That is the key. The key to making money is buy when people are fearful, sell when people are greedy. If you do what mainly retail does, this is what they do. They get greedy at the top. They buy a bunch of shit up here because all their favorite influencers are telling them this is the next 50x token. They buy up here, price dumps on them. They get fearful, they sell down here, and then what happens next? Price pumps, and then they buy up here, and they just rinse and repeat. And that's why retail loses every time, because none of y'all can, I'm not saying y'all as in you guys in the chat, I'm just saying 95 to 99% of people can't control their emotions and have a strategy in investing, and that's how market makers make money off of you. And that's how people that sell day trading courses make money off of you, because they play on your emotions. They look at you as a product, and they look at you, let me flip my screen. They look at you as a product and they say, all right, we can manipulate your emotions. They know that you're going to make an emotional decision. They're going to manipulate you, get them to buy whatever it is they're selling. And then guess what they do? They make money off of you. And then you never learn the strategy because you can't control your emotions. So anytime you try to follow a strategy, you get rinsed and repeated. And then next thing you know, you're paying money out the ass and you're losing money in the market. And I'm not laughing at you because I've been there, but you got to realize emotions are the key. If you can't manage your emotions, you're going to lose. You're never going to win. Where do you see Bitcoin mid-May? Again, so I don't trade based on time. I trade based on price. You know, however long it takes Bitcoin to complete this move is however long it takes. If it takes a month, great. If it takes 2 months, great. If it takes 3 months, I don't care. I have cash waiting on the sideline to deploy. So as long as it takes, I can be patient, which is one of the hardest things to do when investing, because again, your emotions, they get the best of you. And until this move happens, to complete the structure, I'm just waiting. If this takes a month, this takes 2 months, if it takes 3 months, I don't give a shit. I can wait it out. However long it takes to get down to my levels to complete this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, I'll wait, and then I'll buy here. And then what will I do? I'll go up. You got to remember, like, I can't stress it enough, guys. Like, emotions will get the best of you every single time. And if you don't have a strategy, you can't stick to a strategy, and you let your emotions dictate when you buy or sell, you're never going to make money. All right, yeah, we can look at Jasmine. Let's see. Jasmine, what will be the sell target for spot scalping? I think I'm confused by that question, Mr. Usman. What's my next target on Bitcoin after 60 to 50K? Is that what you're asking? If that's the case, if that's your question, my next target on it's 200. I think that's what you're asking, but I'm not entirely sure what you were asking there. Sell target for spot scalping. I think that's what you're saying. But yeah, my next zone is 60 to 50K and then 200K afterwards. So however long it takes to get to 60 to 50K and complete a 5-wave move, I'll wait, then I'll buy, and then I'll ride it up to 200. Which chart is this? Bitcoin, BTC. Good old BTC. Oh, what is your where did you learn about trading theory? Trial and error, man. Trial and error. I was a financial advisor for a good bit. So I did that for about 3 or 4 years. I was a financial advisor. I had my Series 6, my 63, all of my, insurance licenses. I was studying to get my Series 7. But I just, at 21 years old, 21, 22 years old out of college, having a 1099 all commission based job, I just mentally and just where I was at in my life, I couldn't do it. So I transitioned into software sales, obviously lost my licenses to give investment advice because I wasn't practicing anymore and I didn't want to do all my CLE credits. So I started doing it on my own and, getting into strategies, reading books and trying out a bunch of stuff like losing money, gaining money, paper trading, trying out day trading, trying out swing trading, doing all that stuff. And it was a bunch of just sweat equity. And then this is the book that I like, Elliott Waves Made Simple by Steve Sinclair. That for me is what you see when I chart this stuff. When you see all these, wave counts, it's from Elliott Wave Theory. For y'all on YouTube, it's this, Elliott Waves Made Simple by Steve Sinclair. Very simple book. It's like $10 on Amazon. It's 90 pages. You can read it in 2 days. 2-3 days. You can read it in a week if you do 10 pages a day. I did it very slow because I wanted to conceptualize everything, but that's the book that I love and I keep it by my desk when I'm looking at these stuff just to make sure that I'm abiding by all the rules in it. But you're not going to pick up Elliott Wave Theory in a day. You're not going to pick it up in a month. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of analyzing charts and looking at charts and documenting it, in a journal or documenting it, wherever you want to document it, of looking at this stuff and saying, all right, this is a wave 1 with a wave 2. My next target's this, does that fulfill? Okay, it doesn't. Okay, where did I go wrong? Let me go back and back test. So it just takes time. What is your opinion on alt season? When do you think, whenever Bitcoin completes this 5-wave move, that for me is the bottom on Bitcoin and for alt. And then that's when we'll see the Bitcoin move up to 200. And during that period of time, that's when I see altcoins outperform. Should we short Bitcoin now? I mean, to be honest, the better risk to reward is wait for the move to complete, because you're dealing with smaller gains right here from 75 to 55, where I would wait for the 5-wave move down. Again, this is not investment advice. It really just depends on what you want to do. But I would wait for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down, take a position here, and then ride it up to 200. That for me is a better risk to reward, and you can hold for longer. You don't have to gamble with this complex wave 4 and potentially get liquidated if price reverses. I would wait for the 5-wave move down, take a position, and then ride it up. That for me is personally what would be better. I do scalping. I just want to know the sell point before it comes down again. I mean, my invalidation level is 87,193. So this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If the wave 4 retraces into the territory of wave 1, that means this structure is invalidated. So 87,193 is my invalidation. Is the timeline on the chart correct? No, I just drew this. I just drew this as an example to show you timeline wise. No, I just put this here to show you basically what I'm anticipating next. There was no rhyme or reason to it. MSTR going to pump for the next few weeks. I'm waiting on MSTR. So personally, the next tokens that I'm looking to pick up are MSTR, VeChain, EOS, and a little bit of Bitcoin probably. That's sort of my next positions that I want to add to my portfolio, because MSTR looks very good from a risk to reward standpoint. I do think we dip a little bit lower, because if Bitcoin decides to dip, I do think MSTR will dip a little bit. If I don't take a position in MSTR and my targets aren't hit, then I just won't open a trade and I'll look at something else. But my next target on MSTR is 962 if you're currently in. For me, I'm waiting to get in based on this structure for MSTR. For this being the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and of this wave 5, For me, we've only had a 1. It's similar to Bitcoin, like the structure-wise looks the same. You have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and then a 5. If price does invalidate this level up here at 158, like if price decides to go above 158, then this price is invalidated and I'll just buy something else. I'm in, for me, a better position is wait for the dip and wait for about, I don't know, 8, let me see what it's at now. Wait for between $100 to $76. That would be where I'd open a position in MSTR. If we get this dip, which I think we will get, is one more dip lower in MSTR towards the $100 to $76. That's when I'll open a position. If price doesn't do that, then I just won't open a position. I'll look to maybe buy a position in Robinhood because that one looks really good. Or maybe I'll put that in SUI. There's other assets, but I like MSTR from risk to reward if we get this final dip. Let's see. Yeah, we're going into a bear market, but not into this cup and handle. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. It's not invalidated. It's just a retracement before heading down. Well, no, I'm saying if price was to invalidate, what I'm saying is with this being the wave 1 up here, if price was to invalidate, you know, the 157 mark, if we do get a pump up above 157, then it would invalidate this wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then a final dump. That's what I'm saying. If price was to retrace higher. Show big picture of Bitcoin with Elliott Wave. It looks similar to MSTR. And then we're going to go to Jasmy Coin, and then I'm going to go, what's it, 7:30 right now? Yeah, 7:30. This is my structure on Bitcoin. Let me move this out of the way. So this is structurally wise what we have on Bitcoin. Let me make sure the chat's not in the way. We have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have an ABC corrective structure. And that's what I'm waiting for the bottom. We have, and of the ABC, you get a 5-way move down. Once we complete the structure, for me, the next is 200. Jasmy Coin. Yeah, we're going to do Jasmy. The ride up, is that into end of year or into 2020? Again, I don't trade based on time, guys. It's more price driven. If your dollar cost average for MSTR around 80, that's my plan. Yeah, so between, like, once price kind of dips at a 100 range, I'll probably start taking some chunks out of it. Like, take a little bit at 100, take a little bit at 90, take a little bit at 80. But what'll be what I'm looking for is kind of what on, like, Bitcoin, for example, because they look so similar. I'm just waiting for these dumps. So once we get the dump, we'll know. We'll have a 1, a 2, and then we'll get the 3, and then I'll wait for the pullback 4, and then on the 5, you know, I'll probably take a little position here, a little position here, a little position here. Just as it dumps, I'll just take positions. But once price action comes out and we get a 1, 2, and a 3, what I know is next is we get the 1, the 2, the 3. I know we still have a 4, 5. So I'll take, you know, maybe I'll take a position at the end of the 3, wait for the 4, and then wait for the 5. But somewhere in that $100 to $80 is when I'll open a position in MSTR. Do you ever lean on Wyckoff? No, I only use Elliott Wave. I don't do Wyckoff. Let's go to, we can do SPY. We'll finish with SPY. Let's go to Jasmy. Or we'll go to SPY next, but we can do Jasmy. SPY to me is topped, and I'll show you why in a second. Let's see. I thought we did Jasmy, did we not? Yeah, we definitely did. Yeah, I remember doing Jasmy. We did this on stream. I can't remember how long ago. But structurally wise, Jasmy kind of looks similar to, I'm trying to think what similar, I can't remember, but it looks similar to other charts we've seen. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have this A wave, B wave, and then all this A wave, A, B, C, and then this C wave. My next target for Jasmy is 7 cents is my next target for Jasmy, 0.07. Based on this structure, this being the wave 1, the 2, and then expecting a wave 3 up to 7 cents. That's my next target. But what is your next target on VRT? It made me so much money in the last 4 years. That's awesome. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, absolutely. Is that Audrey? No, Adri. That's not Audrey because there's no U. Adri. Yeah, absolutely. My next target on it's 7 cents. So I don't know what that multiple is from right here, but I mean, we've already had a huge pullback from the wave one. I mean, the wave one was here, and we've already pulled back lower than the 0.786, which is a massive pullback. I'm kind of curious if I throw in some other targets. Well, no, there is no other target. Never mind. Yeah. But we've had a massive pullback. So these are deep value positions. Again, with altcoins with lower market caps, it's harder to time these bottoms because this does look like an A wave, an A, B, C, and then we're in the C wave. And of this C wave, I mean, we've retraced pretty far. So like here, it's more of a matter of accumulating as opposed to timing bottoms. When you have highly volatile assets that swing up 20% and dump 30%, the best strategy in the way that I like to typically do it is wait on Bitcoin. Whenever Bitcoin dumps 20% and these things, take a dive 30%, open up a little bit of a position. If you get another pump, you're in the trade, so you're not nervous about missing the bottom. So if you take a position here, say for example, you buy here, good position to ride up. It's like probably a 10x trade or whatever it is. About a 10x from current prices. So that's a great trade. But then you take a position here, if price moves up to your target, you're in the trade. If you take a position here and we get a little bit of a pump and then Bitcoin dumps, then you get a lower leg down, you buy in some more, and then now you've lowered your cost average, and then you wait for the next pump up. So when you're dealing with highly speculative low cap coins, which Elliott Wave Theory can provide guides with this, it's not as accurate as looking at stocks and things with 20-year price history and a lot more volume, and they're less speculative because they have fundamentals behind it, and you have earnings and reports for stocks where they abide by Elliott Wave Theory more. Crypto still does that. It's just more volatile. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. And while this does have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move with an ABC, on the C wave specifically, you kind of just have to dollar cost average and take it in chunks as opposed to timing the bottom. Knight, so interesting. I appreciate you joining the live. SPY. We can look at SPY. We already looked at SPY, but for me, SPY is topped, and I'll show you why. So if we look at SPY on the weekly time frame, or I guess on the monthly time frame rather, I'll show you what I mean on the monthly time frame. So we have basically this wave 3, wave 4, or I'll just show you from the beginning. So we have this kind of massive move on SPY. We have the wave 1, the wave 2, the wave 3. COVID was the wave 4, and we're currently in the 5th. But even if you take this isolated 5 and you look at it on the weekly time frame from, was that COVID time? Yeah, COVID. If you look at it from a COVID standpoint on SPY, let me just zoom in a little bit more. You have the wave 1, the wave 2, the wave 3, the wave 4, and then we're in the 5. So you already have a 5-wave move, which validates a completed wave. And then you have this, basically what's next is an ABC. And on this 5th leg, if you go to the daily time frame, and you look at basically what the fib extension is for the wave 5, you get this. And we're sitting right at the 1.618, which is where price typically likes to top in the wave 5, this being the wave 4 and then the wave 5. We're sitting at the 1.618. There could be a little bit more upside. Maybe we extend to the 2 at 739, possible, but it's limited. So while SPY looks to be topping, the next thing that I would do for SPY is just wait for the bottom or wait for a correction. Because on the monthly, I mean, you can really see a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what's next for SPY is a correction. And the next zone for SPY for me would be between the 0.382 to the 0.618, between basically $500 and $400. In this range is where we should see a bottom, and we'll essentially get an A, B, C, something like that. However it develops, do we get a wave A, then a bounce B, and then a wave C like that? However it decides to basically bounce or whatever it decides to do, the 0.382 to the 0.618 is our next target between 500 to 400 on SPY. NASDAQ. We can look at NASDAQ, Chris, for sure. We're going to go up to 720. Yeah, but if SPY goes down, Bitcoin goes down with it. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think so many people are used to Bitcoin, and this could be a standout for Bitcoin, meaning we've already had a 5-wave move on SPY. We've already had a 5-wave move on Bitcoin, except we've had the 5-wave move and we've had the big ABC correction. What I do think will happen, which is going to catch a lot of people off guard because they're so used to SPY and Bitcoin correlating, is we'll get this massive ABC move, basically people taking profit and taking positions. Gold to me looks topped, silver looks topped, copper looks topped. You have all these metals that look top. People are going to take, positions and take profits on them. And what they're going to do is seek undervalued positions. And where is the most undervalued asset right now? Well, it's crypto. I mean, home prices are at all-time highs. You have SPY at all-time highs. You have gold at all-time highs, silver at all-time highs, copper at all-time highs. You have all these other assets that are all-time highs, and you have Bitcoin, which is severely underpriced. So people will take profits here, and they'll look to place it somewhere. And for me, that's crypto. I mean, obviously, time will tell. But based on the structure, this already looks topped. Bitcoin looks to be bottoming soon, and for me, it'll be a big correction with SPY, and then we'll have a massive move up for Bitcoin. And it's happened in the past. I mean, if you look at the past with the SPY and Bitcoin, they do often decouple, and SPY will make new all-time highs where Bitcoin will make lows. Then you'll have SPY, making lows while Bitcoin's going the reverse. So it has happened in the past, and that's what I think we're seeing right now. Nobody investing in crypto market anywhere? Well, it sounds like you are emotional about your trading. I see what you mean. I mean, Bitcoin's down 50%, but once this thing hits 200K, we'll talk. We'll talk. But again, you can't let your emotions get the best of you. Crypto has its place. It's not going anywhere. So if you think crypto's going, to zero, then I wish you the best of luck. If you think the SPY is going to continue to rip, I wish you the best of luck. SPY looks top, crypto looks bottom. So take that with what you will. I hope that you don't take that with an emotional bias and you really think about it logically, because I want you to make money. I don't want you to lose money. And for me, crypto looks like a very good risk to reward right here. So I wish you the best. Matt said, when TradeFi nukes crypto, well, it's a risk asset. Well, I guess we'll see. If you think that positioning yourself in SPY right now is a better position, I would disagree with that. Then how will some of these actual companies like Robinhood play out if SPY dumps? Because not every stock is correlated to SPY. If you look at Hood, Hood is in a very different stage right now. We've already had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement, and we're in the ABC. It's all about finding undervalued positions, guys. Not every position moves in correlation with the stock market. There are assets that move in different ways to the SPY. And you can see that while SPY goes down, you have, other assets that appreciate. Not everything moves in unison. While it happens time to time, not everything moves in a unison. With Robinhood, we've already had a completed 5-wave move. We're in a corrective ABC. Taking a position in Robinhood at $64 at the 0.618 position is a great deep discount. Then $300 is next. So only time will tell. I mean, obviously, you may think, oh, well, Nick, you're saying these things right now. What if you're wrong? What if I'm right? What if I am right and these things play out? So you got to put your money where your mouth is. You got to be bold. You got to be willing to stand on principle and stand on your strategy. If you're not willing to do so, then, you got to have some balls, man. You got to have some balls, and you got to be able to put yourself out there with fear of rejection and fear of failure. If you're not willing to do so, then, you're not living, man. You're not living. Have some confidence in yourself. Have some confidence in your strategy, and have some confidence in your ability. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Time for a SPY dump? For me personally, yes. I do think we're in an ABC corrective. Do we see some more upside? Maybe, but it's limited. It's definitely limited for upside. I don't think we're going to go to 800. I just, from the structure that we have right now, with this being a wave 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, a 4, and a 5, the price action to the upside looks limited. The next high probable thing is an ABC corrective structure down. If we get some more upside and then we get the ABC, my next targets again are between 500 to 400. What's your opinion on F? Is it a bull trap? Exit liquidity? I mean, Ethereum's having a nice... Don't be soft. Yeah, don't be soft. Put yourself out there, man. Have some confidence. Yeah, we could do NASDAQ. Coming in late. Sure, you mentioned, but where Bitcoin is right now, do you think another drop still? Yep, no changes. 60 to 50K is my next target. NASDAQ. I don't know if we've ever done NASDAQ on stream. Is it this one? Which one? Is it this one? Is this NASDAQ? Yeah, I think it's NASDAQ. See what we got on NASDAQ. I mean, NASDAQ honestly looks kind of similar to SPY. I mean, you have this big wave 1, then you have an ABC 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then wave 5. That's almost what it looks like. Let's go to the monthly. Yeah, I mean, even on NASDAQ too. I mean, look at, this being the wave 1, the wave 2, the wave 3, crash 4, and then we're in the 5th. On the monthly, just on this big drop right here, it looks the same as SPY that we were just looking at. So you had this big, obviously crash wave 4, and then we're in the 5th. And of this, we've had a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, and then a 5. And then if you look at this on the reverse fib, the NASDAQ's sitting right at the 1.618 as well. So hypothetically, or not hypothetically speaking, based on the strategy, and I'll show you, I'm not spitting shit out my ass either. I'll show you. Let me see if I can find the page here. Give me 2 seconds. Where's the wave? Right here. Wait, is this it? No, hold on. 1 second. There we go. Right there. The wave 5. The target is the 1.618 extension of wave 4. Where are we sitting at? The 1.68 extension of the wave 4. So we've had the wave 1, the wave 2, the wave 3, the wave 4, and the wave 5. The way that you do that is you take the fib from the top of wave 3 to the bottom of wave 4, and then you plot out the 1.618 extension, which is typically where wave 5 tops out. We're sitting right there, and you can already see price has been reacting to this level and chopping around here. For me, the next logical level for NASDAQ is, let me move this one, is the next levels that I would be looking for are between, oh wait, you can't see that. Let me move this in a little bit more. The next levels that I'd be looking at for NASDAQ are between 20,000 and 16. I mean, we don't necessarily have to retrace to the 0.618. It just really depends on how price action, oh wait, I erased that, my fault. It just depends on how price action reacts. But 20,000 to 16,000 is next. We'll get some level of ABC correction somewhere in this 0.382 to the 0.618. So now, I mean, NASDAQ and SPY both look topped based on the fibs. How do you do this? A lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of practice. We can go to Bitcoin though. Can you do Meta? I think I did Meta the other day. Gold, I think everything's saved, so I can look at gold. Is it AU? Which is the? Is it A? What was it? AUD? Shit, what's the ticker for gold? AU something, right? We looked at a gold chart. I can't remember what it was. Was it gold futures that we looked at? Shit, I can't remember what we looked at. We looked at a gold chart, and for me, gold looked topped. Like, if you look at the gold futures right here, you have a massive wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then we're in a blow-off top, wave 5. And of this wave 5, Pax Gold, we can look at Pax Gold. I mean, of this wave 5, we've had a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and then we're, again, in another blow-off wave 5. And then if we look at this on the weekly, from this low right here, it looks like we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. Yeah, I mean, gold looks topped as well. Gold, to me, is topped. Just looking at this structurally. I mean, you have a massive extension, wave 5. I mean, it's truly incredible. You know, how much did we've extension? Pax Gold token? What is that? Pax Gold? What is a Pax Gold? Yeah, there's no structure on this. It's too new. I mean, this thing launched like a year ago. I would wait for price action on this one. XAU, that's it. XAU USD. Thank you. Is that Fish Slayer? Yeah, I think we looked at this one before. Yeah, that's right. We looked at this one before. So we had the wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So for me, gold's topped. What I would wait for is a retracement on gold towards 47, towards basically 4,000 to 3,000. Anywhere between 4,000 to 3,000 an ounce, that's what I would wait for. Between the 0.382 and the 0.618. We should get basically an A, B, C correction somewhere in that zone. The 0.382, the 0.618. I mean, you had an stupid extension wave 5. I mean, this wave 5 went crazy, and then you also had another wave 5. I mean, that thing, it just went absolutely crazy. And of this wave 5, you've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Not only is it super extended, but this thing is just absolutely gone crazy, and retail is just FOMOing into this thing. But you're going to get a massive ABC correction somewhere between the 0.382 and the 0.618. Studious talk. What is that, corn? What was that? Was that corn? Sent corn. Thank you for the corn. I got to tell my wife. She's from the Midwest. She would appreciate that. Please. Tickers Dolo. We can look at what time is it, by the way? It's almost, was it 8 o'clock? I gotta go eat dinner. I'm late to dinner. I'm starving. Corn is good. Love corn, man. Gold typically moves in inverse to the Nasdaq. Yes, but based on the chart, what would you do with your money right now? You have this super euphoric blow off top, massive, basically wave 5 of 5, right? You have this wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and a wave 5. And of the wave 5, you've had of the wave 5, you've basically had a 5-wave movement already. For me, gold looks topped. iSmart Al. Nick, I'm happy I found you. Well, I appreciate the support, Al. I appreciate that. I would double down with the 50x leverage. I would not double down with a 50x leverage on gold. For me personally, gold, based on the structure, we have this huge blow off top wave 5. Like, if you look at this, I mean, look at the extensions on this thing. The wave 5 typically tops, again, guys, the 1.618 inverse. We're well over the 2. I mean, how far did we go? Let's go to the max, 4.764. We're at the 4.764 extension. I mean, that's just an absolutely crazy extended wave 5. I mean, it's incredible how far we've extended on this. I mean, we've had, the initial 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this massive super extended wave 5. I mean, that was probably a lot of retail FOMOing in here. But for me, gold's topped, and the next thing is an ABC corrective phase. Again, I think gold looks top, SPY looks top, NASDAQ looks top, silver looks like it has a wave 4 correction, then a wave 5. But you have all these assets that are topped. What is undervalued, guys? Crypto. I'm not saying that because I love crypto. I'm just saying it from a pure charting perspective with my emotional, unbiased position. Everything on here looks top. You have gold top, SPY top, NASDAQ top. Where do you feel more comfortable putting your money? Do you want to put it in an asset that's had a blow off top wave 5 like gold? Do you want to put it in an asset that already has a 5-wave movement on SPY, has a 5-wave movement on NASDAQ? Where would you want to put your money? Fartcoin. We're going to throw all of our money in Fartcoin. But it's like you have Solana, which looks like a really good risk reward. You have Sui, which you have these like altcoins that have pulled back, 50 to 90%. You have Bitcoin, which is basically at a 50% pullback already. And I do think that there's a lower leg why you keep ignoring ETH. I'm not ignoring ETH. We can go to Ethereum. I'm just explaining my thought process of where you'd want to park your money. I mean, you gotta be able to find an undervalued position. And for me, that's crypto. We'll look at Ethereum, and then I'm gonna go eat dinner. That's gonna be what we do. Again, guys, there's so many chart requests. You got to be patient. There's so many chart requests in here, and while I do want to get to every single chart request, I also have to be able to do every single one of them. So for Ethereum, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5-wave move. We've had a big correction, and then we're currently in the process of starting another wave. For me, this entire thing was just corrective. Oh, hold on. For me, this entire, basically until right here. Shit. That didn't go where I wanted it to go. Hold on. Until right here, this is just corrective, meaning this was an ABC, this was an ABC, this was an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, and this another A wave, B wave. All this was corrective. Now, what do we have moving forward? Well, on the weekly chart, a little bit more clear on the daily chart, but on the daily chart, we have a really good wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a 5-wave movement off of these lows, which for me is the end, like that's where the correction ended. And then we have a wave 1. We're currently in the 2. And my next target on ETH is 7,300. That's my next target on Ethereum is 7,300. So from this being the wave 1, the wave 2, the wave 3 should target 7,300. Then we'll get a wave 4 pullback, and then we'll get a wave 5. That for me is what's next on Ethereum. Now, on the daily chart, you can see, based on this structure, it's very complex, right? We have this 5-wave top coming up here. Then we have this sort of A wave, B wave, C wave. And then we have this A wave, B wave, C wave. And then for me, it almost looks like we have this A wave, B wave, and then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move down. And then we have this complex movement here. So this being the A wave, the B wave, and then we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we should expect one more leg lower. That's what I'm anticipating on ETH. I know we pumped up a good amount. I do think we have one more dip on Ethereum, and then 7,300 is next. That's what I'm targeting. And even on the smaller time frame, you can see it right here. It looks like Bitcoin. We have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and then a wave 5 is next. My next targets on Ethereum was between 1,700 and 1,400. In this range, that would be a good dollar cost average zone, and then 7,500 is next. That for me, based on the structure, looks to be what's next for Ethereum. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, similar to Bitcoin. You may laugh at it, but do with that what you will. Again, take your emotions out of trading. If Bitcoin goes down, won't this come down with it? Correct. That's why I do have one more leg lower. Fart clean, bro. Little deep. Yeah, I mean, for me, my next target on Ethereum is between basically 1,700 and like 1,400, somewhere in this range. Because based on the structure, we have a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, and then a 5. Again, you may laugh at it now because price is doing what it's doing, but in a couple weeks, in a month, we'll see what happens. How low do you think Bitcoin will go? 60 to 50K. Short, I wouldn't trade this just because this is a complex structure. Thanks for sharing your TA. Much appreciated. Yeah, absolutely. 50K, yeah, 60 to 50K is my next zone. And then while we get another 20% dump on Bitcoin, Ethereum, you can see like Bitcoin's pumped up, 3%? This thing's absolutely rocketed. If you get a 20% dump on Bitcoin, you could get a 30% dump on Ethereum, which, putting things into perspective, if you get a 30% dump on Ethereum, where does that take us? 1,600. So, factor that into the equation as well, because if Bitcoin dumps 20, this could dump 30. So that for me is what's next on Ethereum. Again, love it or hate it, whatever, laugh at it. I don't really give a shit. The people that laugh are typically the ones that are retail that lose money. So, you can laugh all the way to the bank. Money speaks for itself. Strategy speaks for itself. If you don't have a strategy, you'll lose every single time. It sounds like you're investing based on emotions, which I preach to my community all the time. Don't invest with your emotions, invest with a strategy. If your targets aren't hit, say Ethereum absolutely rips, again, I'm not trying to time this thing. I'm already in Ethereum back at, I dollar cost averaged in on this dip. So when Ethereum was dipping with this ABC corrective, I was dollar cost averaging in this zone. So I'm already in Ethereum. To me, if I was to do anything, I would just add to my spot bag on this dip lower. So when we get this dip lower, I could add to my spot bag and then target 7,300 next, but I'm already in down here. So, at this level I'm in, so I'm just targeting 7,300 next based on this structure. Do you think Bitcoin dump will happen this week? I mean, possible. I mean, it's a volatile week like we saw in the Forex Factory. With Forex Factory, I mean, look at what's next. We have, or look at what Wednesday brings. I mean, Wednesday brings core PPI, and then the federal funds interest rate decision and the Powell speech, which is going to drive a lot of volatility, which could bring, you know, say Powell says something the market doesn't like, and then we start the drop lower. You know, that uncertainty, markets don't like uncertainty. You know, say Powell says something that the market doesn't like, or he hints at them being more hawkish with rates. What if he says, oh, we're going to hike interest rates instead of, you know, like they're anticipating them to lower? What if Powell says we're going to hike interest rates? Next thing you know, prices dump. What if something happens with the Iran war? You know, Trump does a tweet and then the markets don't like it and then we get a dump. Structurally, that's what's next for Bitcoin. That's why, again, I'm sticking to my strategy, and we'll end with Bitcoin and then I'm going to go eat dinner. But yeah, I mean, this is what's next for Bitcoin. So, you know, love it or hate it, take with it what you will. Structurally wise, we still have to complete it. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dump down for the leg 5. And this will happen on a smaller time frame. So you'll have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once we get this dump, 200K is next. What's for dinner, G? What's up, Gons? Summer made pasta and meatballs. So a little pasta and meatballs. Should I buy Bitcoin now or wait? Personally, for me, I'm waiting. I'm already in Bitcoin, so like I have the luxury of already having a position in Bitcoin. For me, this is just adding to my spot bag. But for me, I'm waiting for the 60 to 50K region. Once we get in those regions, I'll be dollar cost averaging. Dub summer, yes. Solana, my next target's 535 on Solana. We'll cover again, guys. I'll be live again tomorrow, same time. So some of the charts that we weren't able to cover today, we can cover tomorrow. But same time, 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be live. For those of you that want to watch live on TikTok, you can. I'm also live on YouTube as well if you want to see like the full screen. Because on obviously TikTok, I'm just vertical, so you can't see the full screen. So I do go live on YouTube. I go live on Twitch. Pick your preference. I don't really care, but. If you prefer, TikTok, feel free to join here. It doesn't matter to me. I stream on all platforms to give everyone option, but I thought that I'd throw that out there. Bon appetit, Nick. See you tomorrow. Absolutely. What do you think about, you think it will dump? I think if Bitcoin does what I think it's going to do based on the structure, if Bitcoin drops 20%, we'll probably see a lower move on Solana. Maybe that thing corrects 20 to 30%. But then after that correction's done on Bitcoin, for me, that's the bottom for most alts. And then we'll see the impulsive waves to the upside. So there could be a little bit more downside on Solana, Ethereum, most alts, and then we get the major upsides. So that's for me what's next. But with that being said, I'm going to go get some dinner because I am starving and it's 8 o'clock for me in Eastern time. So I've pushed off dinner already, so I'm pretty hungry. But I will see y'all tomorrow for any of the charts we weren't able to do. We can cover those tomorrow. Again, I try to get through every chart that I can, but so many people request charts, so it's hard to get through all of them. I try my best, but between, a hat? Oh, that's kind of cool. The hat with the mustache, that was pretty cool. But between YouTube, Twitch and Kick chat, and then also TikTok chat, it's kind of hard to cover everything. So I do my best. I appreciate the patience, but I will see y'all tomorrow. And I'll also do my Bitcoin video in the morning too, so look out for that. But hope you all have a great rest of your night.